South Africa has been a popular tourist destination over the years, and a substantial amount of revenue comes from tourism. However, crime, poverty, and inequality remain widespread, with about a quarter of the population unemployed and living on less than $1.2 a day as of 2008. South Africa, officially the Republic of South Africa, is the southernmost country in Africa. With over 61 million people, the country is the world's 23rd most populous nation and covers an area of 1,221,037 square kilometers. South Africa has 3 capital cities, with the executive, judicial, and legislative branches of government based in Pretoria, Bloemfontein, and Cape Town, respectively. About 81% of the population is Black South Africans. The remaining population consists of Africa's largest communities of Europeans who are referred to as White South Africans, Asian as Indian South Africans and Chinese South Africans, and Multiracial as Colored South Africans ancestry. South Africa is the leading economy in Africa by most metrics, and it's home to the highest net worth individuals and levels of total wealth held in Africa. However, there are a few areas where South Africa is falling to the sidelines. According to South Africa Cities Network, cities in South Africa rely on a mix of grants and their revenue sources to fund constitutionally mandated expenditure responsibilities. Since 2015, city revenues have been growing at varying rates, with the trend showing actual city revenues improving compared to budgets, although the group noted that cities make very different assumptions about rates of growth going forward. South Africa is Africa's top wealth owner, holding a total of $552 billion in wealth. The country is home to $40,400 millionaires, including 2,130 multimillionaires, 94 centimillionaires, and 5 billionaires. Recently, total actual revenue has improved at an average annual rate of 5.7%, but the average revenue growth rates differed considerably among cities. Let us now look at the top 12 richest cities in South Africa in their corresponding order. Stay tuned because this will be amazing, especially for those who are planning to move to South Africa. You can better decide where to settle after watching this video. 12. Kimberley. Kimberley is the capital and largest city of the Northern Cape province of South Africa. It is located approximately 110 kilometers east of the confluence of the Vaal and Orange rivers. The city has considerable historical significance due to its diamond mining past and the siege during the Second Anglo-Boer War. British businessmen Cecil Rhodes and Barney Barnato made their fortunes in Kimberley, and Rhodes established the De Beers Diamond Company in the early days of the mining town. Kimberley was the initial hub of industrialization in South Africa in the late 19th century, which transformed the country's agrarian economy into one more dependent on its mineral wealth. A key feature of the new economic arrangement was migrant labor, with the demand for African labor in the mines of Kimberley and later on the gold fields, drawing workers in growing numbers throughout the subcontinent. The labor compound system developed in Kimberley from the 1880s was later replicated in the gold mines and elsewhere. The city housed South Africa's first stock exchange, the Kimberley Royal Stock Exchange, which opened on 2nd of February 1818. 11. EKURHELNI. EKURHELNI is the eastern part of the Gauteng province. It is part of the Johannesburg metropolitan area and includes suburbs such as Multiracial, Greenstone, Edenvale, Bedfordview, Benoni, Germiston, Springs, Boksburg, and Brakpan. EKURHELNI is home to the Rand Refinery, the largest integrated single-site precious metals refining and smelting complex in the world. The city of EKURHELNI contributes approximately 8.1% to the national economy of the country, while contributing 23.4% to the total economy of the Gauteng province. It has a total wealth of $2.3 billion. 10. Bloemfontein. Bloemfontein, also called the Fountain of Flowers, is one of South Africa's 3 capital cities and the capital of the Free State province. It serves as the judicial capital of the country. Bloemfontein is the 7th largest city in South Africa. Bloemfontein is popularly and poetically known as the City of Roses for its abundance of these flowers and the annual Rose Festival held there. The city of Bloemfontein hosts the Supreme Court of Appeal of South Africa, the Franklin Game Reserve, Naval Hill, the Macelsport Resort, and the Sand du Plessis Theater. The city hosts numerous museums. Bloemfontein's economy is driven by the private sector. Some of South Africa's largest retail companies have headquarters located in the city. It has a total wealth of $3 billion. 9. Pietermaritzburg and Natal Midlands. Inland of Durban, lying in an area that acts as something of a respite for all who go there, between Pietermaritzburg and the Drakensberg, is a beautiful region filled with stretches of farmland, charming little towns, wonderful arts and crafts route, and picturesque scenery bordering on the sublime, known as the Natal Midlands. It contributes some 16% to the country's GDP. Manufacturing, trade, business services, transport, and communications are the largest and strongest growth sectors of the provincial economy. Pietermaritzburg and Natal Midlands have a total wealth of $7 billion. 8. The Sunshine Coast. The Sunshine Coast is a beautiful coastal belt in the Eastern Cape that stretches between St. Francis Bay and East London. Aptly named because it enjoys the longest hours of sunshine on South Africa's coast, this uncommercialized region offers an array of attractions. The Sunshine Coast also has easy access to the Wild Coast, Addo Elephant Park, and the Great Fish River. It is mostly concerned with retail businesses and has a total wealth of $15 billion. 7. The Whale Coast. The route begins in Cape Town and follows the particularly pretty R44, also known as Clarence Drive, through the Koegsberg Biosphere Reserve. The whale route is in the Overberg and is where some of the best whale viewing spots in the country thus tend to attract a lot of fish and water lovers. It has a total wealth of approximately $24 billion and is particularly popular in retirement locations. 6. Pretoria. Pretoria is a city located in the northern part of Gauteng Province, South Africa. It is one of the country's 3 capital cities, serving as the executive capital. Pretoria has a total wealth of $48 billion. The city's most expensive suburbs are all found in Waterkloof Ridge, Waterkloof, Sterewag, Brooklyn, and Linwood. Pretoria is the 8th richest city in Africa, with a GDP of $75.6 billion. Pretoria straddles the Appies River and extends eastward into the foothills of the Magaliesberg Mountains. It has a reputation as an academic city and center of research, and is home to a lot of South African universities. The buildings of Pretoria reflect diverse architectural styles and influences, creating a unique urban landscape. Pretoria has a total wealth of $48 billion. 5. The Garden Route. The Garden Route takes its name from the Garden Route National Park. It passes through the varied vegetation and wildlife found there, and the plethora of wetlands, lakes, mountains, woodlands, and beaches found along its twisting roads. The Garden Route officially begins in Mossel Bay and ends in Storms River in the east. Knysna, in the middle of the Garden Route, is a great place to stay because all of the attractions are close by and the accommodations are excellent. It has a total wealth of $52 billion. The Garden Route is a paradise for eco-lovers, bird watchers, and solitude seekers, and one of the most beautiful parts of the Western Cape. 4. PAARL, FRANSCHHOEK, and Stellenbosch. The towns of PAARL, FRANSCHHOEK, and Stellenbosch are located next to each other in South Africa and are also the 7th richest cities in Africa combined. They combine to form one of the fastest growing areas in South Africa for individuals with a wealth of $1 million or more. Many retired people in this category have moved to these towns over the past decade. The 3 cities together have a total wealth of $54 billion. 3. Durban. Durban is the third most populous city in South Africa after Johannesburg and Cape Town. It is the largest city in the South African province of KwaZulu-Natal and is also known to be the fifth richest city in Africa. The study for this area showed that wealth is held in Durban, Umhlanga, La Lucia, and Ballito. The total wealth in Durban is $55 billion. Durban's economy was estimated to expand by 4.5% in 2021. Durban was formerly named Port Natal due to its position as the chief seaport of South Africa and its location on the Natal Bay of the Indian Ocean. Durban is a highly ethnically diverse city with large Zulu, white, and Asian populations. The city's economy grew by 0.5% from January to March 2021 and further grew by 1.1% from April to June 2021. It has been constant since then. 2. Cape Town. The city of Cape Town had its origin in 1652 when the Dutch East India Company established a refreshment station for its ships on the shores of Table Bay. The location was magnificent on well-watered, fertile soil beneath the precipitous walls of Table Mountain. Today, Cape Town is a modern city with high-rise office buildings and malls. Although it is a major political and economic center, its reputation still rests on its beautiful position between mountain and sea, its cosmopolitan population, and the liberal outlook of many of its citizens. It is home to Africa's most exclusive suburbs, including Clifton, Bantry Bay, Fresnay and Dudno, Camps Bay, Bishop's Court, and Constantia. Also, several top-end lifestyle estates, including Steenberg, Atlantic Beach, and Silverhurst Estate are all found here. Major sectors in Cape Town include real estate and fund management. The total wealth of Cape Town is $131 billion. 1. Johannesburg. Johannesburg is a city in Gauteng Province, South Africa. It is the country's chief industrial and financial metropolis. It is also the wealthiest city in South Africa and Africa. Most of Johannesburg's wealth is concentrated in Sandton, home to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the largest stock market in Africa. It also has the head offices of most of Africa's largest banks and corporates. Major sectors in the city include financial services and professional services. Much of the city's extensive wealth derives from its prime position in the Witwatersrand Hill Range, an area replete with minerals and the center of a very profitable gold and diamond trade. The total private wealth is estimated at $239 billion, and it houses more than half of South Africa's multimillionaires, 970 of them, by the latest estimation, along with two very successful billionaires. As South Africa's business hub, even those who don't have six-figure bank balances are doing well thanks to an abundance of high-paying jobs in the financial, professional, and telecommunication sectors. Johannesburg is the largest single metropolitan contributor to the national economic product. The national average growth in the gross domestic product has been 1.8% over the past 10 years, with Johannesburg marginally outpacing that growth with an average growth per annum of 2%. The city's contribution to the national economy is almost 16%. There is a clear correlation between the number of affluent individuals in a city and the development of the city's economic base. The presence of a large number of wealthy people in a city is indicative of a bloated middle class, which is related to the city's economic development. However, in the majority of instances, the city's wealthy control a large amount of the city's wealth, demonstrating the huge economic inequality that exists between the affluent and the poor. We have come to the end of this amazing edition. Do not forget to like, turn on your notification buttons, subscribe, and tell us what you think in the comment section below. Thank you, and see you in the next video.